Hey guys, welcome back to another Cultured Boys discussion. I'm Pepe, and as always, I'm joined by Nathan. And today we're talking about the amazing long-running series that has gone on hiatus about 18 times in its lifetime. It's Hunter x Hunter. Yay! That's right. I've been a fan of Hunter x Hunter since the new anime came out back in, I think it was 2011. It first started airing. And recently Nathan's got into it and is up to date, and he didn't tell me, and now we're gonna have a big old discussion about it because we need to talk about it. How are you, Nathan?
I'm good. To be fair, I didn't tell anyone. I just went off and watched it. So, you're not the only one surprised.
It's not just that though, it's because I have been telling Nathan to watch this series for years now. For years and years and years, I've been telling him to get into it. And like,
Probably a decade.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because I started watching it back in 2014 kind of time. So yeah, it would have been well over a decade now. So well, not well over, it's just a year over. But but at the same time, yeah, I've been recommending this series to Nathan, and every person I've recommended to has really enjoyed it. So and that's why I was like, Nathan, you gotta watch this, you will forget it. And for ages, you only watched like the first few episodes. Right?
Yeah, to be fair, I did start it 2 or 3 times in that time period, and I think I only ever watched about 4 episodes at most.
Yeah. So you never even really got into the Hunter exam properly because it
No.
was always like, I mean, technically, yeah, the Hunter exam starts from episode 1 because it's the boat.
I think I always stopped at the swamp.
Oh wow.
They're like,
okay.
"Oh, so this is stage 1, just follow me and keep up."
Yeah.
And then they get to the swamp, and I always sort of stopped around there.
Okay. That's an interesting place to stop
Yeah.
as well because it's
That's not even stage 2 of the exam, that's just like a point.
like even stage 1 should technically get you hooked into it because it's like, oh, it's like this mystery of like how far do they push you in this Hunter exam thing. And then yeah, I can't even remember what happens in the swamp bit, I just remember them getting to the swamp.
The swamp is where there's like monsters in there or creatures in there that like to mimic and try to fool you. So the
Yes.
examiner's like, "Don't fall for it. Just keep following me." And there's also
it's
like
still the
heavy
following
fog.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heavy
Yeah,
fog,
okay, that
and
was it, yeah.
everyone's kind of like running through, and they're like, I don't get it. I can't see anything. Just try and follow the people in front." And then like, obviously people are dropping like flies because the monsters are not mimicking anymore. They're just straight up just taking people out.
Yeah, it is that. Yeah. It's like that's the one thing about Hunter x Hunter as well, is that like it starts off as a series which feels quite, it's chill, it's like happy-go-lucky. Gon's a happy-go-lucky character. And then it just has such dark moments in it. You're like, Jesus Christ, like just catches you off guard. And the whole Hunter exam bit is probably like so chill compared to the rest of the series as well. It just like the series just keeps on being pushed further and further.
The Hunter exam, like the Heaven's Arena, that stuff, that's nothing. That's all like happy
Yeah.
fun times. Because then it's like,
Yeah.
what? It's like Heaven's Arena and then Greed Island, where everyone's
Yeah.
just fucking dying. And then Chimera Ant Arc, and everyone's dying.
Yeah. And even like what was it? Is it the Phantom Troop? It's
Yeah.
called that, right? Yeah, like all that sort of stuff where it's like basically big old like, massive
the new
yeah.
the York New City stuff, yeah, where everyone
York
dies.
New City, that was it. Yeah, York New City was so man.
That
'Cause
was it.
sets
No,
up,
because it's Heaven's Arena and then York New City.
yeah, because it's all kind of weirdly tied together with that bit a little bit, and it's like
By the way,
Heaven's
can you
Arena,
tell I was not lying? I did actually watch all 140.
yeah,
or whatever.
yeah,
it is.
good. That's it. We'll be touching a lot on like all the different characters and all that. I don't feel like we need to give a rundown because like I think this is going to be a discussion about Hunter x Hunter. You can give a rundown if you fancy it, Nathan. But like,
I think we should do one just in case.
yeah, go on. Yeah, let's just go for it. Yeah.
So Hunter x Hunter created by Yoshihiro Togashi, published in Weekly Shonen Jump, March 2nd, 1998 to present, because, like Pepe said, lots and lots and lots of hiatus. Animated by Madhouse, aired October 2nd, 2011 to September 24th, 2014, 148 episodes. I did also see an article that supposedly the anime was supposed to have come back this year, but it's now also that's also been pushed back. Different point of discussion. Uh, Gon, a young boy who lives on Whale Island, dreams of becoming a hunter like his father, who left when Gon was still young. Thank you, Crunchyroll.
Nice. Yeah, so that is all encompasses Hunter x Hunter as a whole. It's so funny as well because, like, if you don't actually know the series, you like I feel like most people are like, oh, Hunter x Hunter, because I was saying that for a while as well. I didn't realize
Yes,
it was
I
just called Hunter x
I get asked that
Hunter.
all the time, and just because, like, for some people, I'm just the guy, the manga anime
Mm,
guy. So they're like, "Oh, is it Hunter
yeah,
X Hunter or Hunter x Hunter?" I keep because everyone hears both. Because the people who don't know say Hunter X Hunter. People who do know that you don't pronounce the X. You don't say it
yeah. It was
ever.
just like, yeah, Hunter, yeah. Like, I think that's the one thing because, like, unless you hear someone say the series Hunter x Hunter, you're gonna just assume that it is Hunter x Hunter.
Well, I
It's
mean,
just one
like,
of those
the
things.
funny
Like,
thing is there are some people that are like, hear someone say Hunter x Hunter, and they're like, "Yeah, but it's written as Hunter X Hunter, so I'm saying Hunter X Hunter." And
mm,
it's like, "No, it's just Hunter x
yeah.
Hunter."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I felt I kind of went off of like funny enough, like I knew Gone from like again like how I got into most manga and anime back in the 2000s. It
Mhm,
would have been through Jump Superstars because like that had a whole roster of characters that I had no clue about. And then it only got into a point where I started playing J Star's Victory Versus, where I actually heard one of the characters, like in the sound screen or whatever, one of the characters says Hunter Hunter, and that's at the point where I was like, "Huh, okay, fair." Because even like I started in 2014 because that's when the anime had first started. Like,
mhm,
the anime first, the new anime had been going for 3 years at that point, and so I had a wealth of episodes to go through. And at that
mhm.
point, I was just going through. Oh, let me try this anime next. Let me try this anime next. And then I got to Hunter x Hunter, and then it was like, oh, okay, start watching all these episodes, and that's when in 2014 where I properly got into it, and I was like, "What? The series is like insane!" Like everything that went on in it. I for years and years and years, I didn't like know much about it. I didn't like rate it or had any like passion to read it, and then suddenly it was like, okay, this series is like
Fair.
fucking yeah. To the point that I'd say it's like one of my top 5 series of all time. I'd say,
Wow. It's good. It
yeah,
is good. I very much
yeah,
enjoyed it. I get it,
hmm,
but would I say in my top 5, me personally, probably not. It's good though. I would say it's close to top 10, but it's also, like, feels very, like, ADHD in that, like, something starts and then stuff happens and then, like, a new thing starts. And it just feels really ADHD in that sense, because sometimes it's like some things go on for fucking forever, like Greed Island or the Chimera and arc, and then other things basically fucking take no time at all in comparison. Like York New City
yeah.
or the Hunter exam.
Yeah. Yeah, or, the hunt for the new chairman as well, which is, like, barely an arc, but they made it an
Yeah,
arc.
exactly. Like, it's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
like I don't get it. I just sometimes I'm like, it's so ADHD. It's just like I could even through the anime and the length of how certain things go, I'm like, did Takashi just get bored or something? Like, or did he just get inspired to do something, a new story? I don't know.
Yeah. It's such a weird one with Takashi as well, because obviously we know that he did his previous work, was Yu Yu Hakusho,
Yes.
and obviously, like, another massively successful series. And the thing is with Hunter x Hunter is that there's so many weird points with it as well. Like I still think the story is incredible, and then you get to the latest stuff with it. For example, the chairman stuff, which
Mm.
I thought was an okay arc. Like
Yeah, it
compared
was.
to the compared to what the Chimera Ant arc had set up, it was like kind of like, huh, okay, cool. And like since then, like you haven't read any of the manga at all, have you?
No, I'm not. I honestly, from what I've heard from you guys, as in like Pepe and friends beforehand, before I ever got into the series, I don't know that I want to get into the manga because I'm just kind of like, what's the point?
It's one of those ones where it's a very confusing place as well because of the hiatuses that have gone on due to Togashi's health.
Hmm.
Like sometimes the art isn't as consistent as
Oh,
something
okay.
that would be running weekly would be, which is understandable. I'm not gonna say to I'm not gonna be like, oh, Takashi sucks because he's like not putting work in or whatever.
Yeah, no, if it's health related, yeah, health related is health related.
Yeah, realistically, I'm not gonna shit on that at all. Um, but like there's the thing with it is that the art is kind of like inconsistent at times as well, and the story because it picks up and stops in so many places,
Hmm.
it's a little bit confusing to follow, especially when you don't have characters like Gon as your main character, and then sometimes it will flick to a different scenario completely. However, the scenario that I'm thinking of right now was a freaking good chapter. I'm not gonna lie.
No,
You know, like where like One Piece will occasionally just show you something else that's going on in the
yeah,
One Piece universe. Yeah, it would just be like, oh, here's 2 or 3 chapters of like I don't know Shanks doing something, and then you're like, hey, that's quite cool because you're getting more idea of what Shanks is like as a character. Like
yeah, yeah.
they Togashi kind of did that like in probably like in the last 100 or 50 chapters. I feel like it'd be 50 clipped in rather than 100. But like there's a certain point where 2 characters have a fight and you're there like this is actually so freaking good. If this is animated, it would be like one of the best animated fights in
Okay.
like history, I'd say. Because it goes down so well, and with the right animation studio behind it, you know it'd be sick.
Well, I
I won't say
mean,
what that is because of spoilers, but
Madhouse like is doing it,
yeah.
so if Madhouse continue because the anime looks great already and was animated very well, but like I think that's my other thing is the stuff is like there's things that are set up that are interesting in this series, but then they also just like don't do anything. Like the Phantom Troop, for example, right? I want to know more
Mhm,
about them. They do a crap ton of stuff in York New City, right?
mhm,
And then on
yeah.
Greed Island, they just appear and then disappear. And then
In
in
the
the
Chimera Ant
Chimera
arc.
and arc, they save Meteor City, and then that's it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
The fuck are they doing?
Yeah,
Though
it's
there's so
it's
many
it
cool
is
characters, but
random
what are
point.
they doing?
Yeah, yeah. It is one of those ones where it's like, oh, it's cool to see them do this thing, but like, well, where are they? Hisoka, for example, is like one of the characters in this, which is like, like so mysterious as a character, and but is also one of the most epic characters in the series because he's just a
Crazy,
fucking weirdo.
crazy magic clown,
Yeah, which is who is like has his morals and like what he's looking at is just so fucking
bro.
weird. Is
Like the way bro does things, Hisoka does shit just based on I want to fight people I rate, but
yeah,
at the same time, it's also just like the way he's depicted sometimes, like when on Greed Island they did the dodgeball
yeah,
fight, and he's like,
yeah,
"Oh yes, oh," and you're just like,
yeah,
"I don't need to see this.
yeah. Or
I
like that.
I don't need
Or is that
that."
point? There's that really dubious point in Greed Island where he's just following God and
Yeah,
Killua, and they're like he's just clearly like just being a bit of a
yeah,
for the
strange.
nicest way of saying it, a fucking weirdo
Yeah,
is like it's bits like that. Like so, Hisoka's one of those characters I feel like you either like heavily fuck with or fucking like
like don't
just
get me wrong,
yeah
he's a cool character, and Bungee Gum is a cool like Nen ability, but
yeah.
at the same time, he's weird. He's
He's
just
weird. He
weird.
is weird. He's just weird. Like I think that's what like even in like the Hunter exam with the stealing the tags thing.
Mm,
I think that was like one of Hisoka's like actually, I don't think it's one of his strongest moments, but it's high up there where he's just like he's just staying in the same place for ages. Like you see him, like his bloodlust. That at one point,
Yeah.
he just wants to kill people, and he hasn't killed anyone in so long, and then he just spies someone, and you see that his face where it's like kind of like almost skeletal. And like he's like freaking just running, and it's like freaking intimidating as
See,
hell.
that's
Like seeing
that's crazy as well,
like,
because like, back then they were like, "Oh, it's bloodlust," and now,
mhm.
obviously, like, the further you go in the series, you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh, is it bloodlust?" It was probably a bit of his, like, bloodlust and Nen, like, probably some
yeah,
of
yeah.
his
The Nen
Hatsu
thing
or
is like yeah.
whatever, but, like, that's the other thing that confuses me is, like, Nen is a pretty, like, well-established, once it gets
Mhm.
into it, like, system.
Yeah.
But it's all these words like, "Oh, that's your Ren, that's your Hatsu, use Gyo, and
Yeah.
if you use these
Mhm.
combinations, now it's En, now it's Ken," and you're like,
Mhm.
"But you're throwing too many words at me. I don't."
And to that point is also another reason why I find the Hunter x Hunter manga an absolute slog to get through. Because sometimes it is like the thing is, in the anime, they have a lot of explanation and it's like a
Mm,
voiceover and it's like explaining it to you. In a manga, it's paragraphs. It's actual paragraphs of like detail, and you're like, there's almost no actual drawings in this. It's literally just panels of the text, and it's like this is hard. Yeah.
I would tune out, especially, like, in Greed Island where Bisky's explaining extra stuff, and I'm just like, I don't care. I don't care. Just show me them doing the thing. It's like, oh yeah. So for this technique, you need, especially when they got to, I think it was Kyo. They like
Mhm.
channeling your aura into specific parts, but at now you're doing the
Yes.
percentages of attack and defense. And that whole training section, there's like a sparring fight,
Yeah.
Killua and Gon, and they're like, "Oh,
Yeah.
60% in my fist and 30, and 40% in my
Mhm.
stomach." And
Yeah.
I was just like, I don't fucking care. I don't care for the
It's
voiceover right
one
now.
that
I just want to watch the fight.
it is one of those ones where, like, when it gets into a training thing, it can feel so long. I think what Hunter x Hunter does best is its villains, I think, are phenomenal in Hunter
Mm,
x Hunter. I think their fights as well, but obviously it's the adventure and it's the training to overcome that character.
mm.
For example, the best part of the Chimera Ant arc for me is them storming the palace.
Oh yeah,
And
all of that was sick.
what I love about that is that no characters are saying words, but it's the narration that really does it well. Like it's like at that point, Gon was struck with fear that he had to do this kind of thing. And but then obviously you're seeing like what was it? Like there was the general ants, like the king's guards or whatever
Yeah,
they
yeah,
were.
the
And it
the
was
royal
like
guards.
yeah, the royal guards, and then it'd just be like they were such intimidating villains as well. It was
See, they
what
they
what
were,
was the big
but it
red dude?
also, I forget the big red dudes because I remember Poof is the
Like
butterfly and Pito was
yeah,
the cat.
yeah. Was it UP? It was UP, weren't it?
Yuppie, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Yuppie,
yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
then because UP was just like a such source of like strength that he like and like all the stuff that he did and like again I guess spoilers for it. The way that certain characters die in this series is kind of anticlimactic in a way as well. But
Oh
also,
mate, don't even get me started on the anticlimax in this series because, like, talking about royal guards, right?
mhm,
Pito starts off depicted like, oh my god, this is a crazy monster chimera, and look at how much
yeah,
nen they've got, how much aura they
yeah,
have,
yeah,
and then like the second half of it, Pito is just like doesn't fucking do anything. I was like, oh,
yeah.
I need to heal the girl for the king, and I'm
Yes,
scared
yeah,
of Gon because he's got so much bloodlust,
yeah, yeah.
and then they
And
die.
yeah, I mean that's one thing. Is the fight with Gon and Pito, like, I mean, Gon's transformation is at that
Okay,
point where it is an iconic transformation. Is that
that is an
that's the
iconic
bit that is
transformation. I will say,
yeah,
I finally have context
yeah,
for that because for years on end,
mhm,
all I saw was adult Gon with just fucking
yeah.
long
But you
ass
would sometimes
hair.
it'd be like another character's design with that hair, and you'd be like, "What is this reference? What even is this?" And
Yeah,
then you realize, "Oh, wait, it's a Hunter x Hunter reference." Like,
but, like, it's just that was anticlimactic for me because it was literally the
Mhm.
first half before Meruem even comes along,
Yes.
before the king,
Yeah.
Pito is fucking scary.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Like, because up until that point, it's Gon, Killua, and Kite, and then
Yeah.
Kite is just so easily dispatched by Pito that you're just like, "Fuck, what the hell? This
Yeah.
cat thing is
Mhm.
crazy," right? And then even during some of the castle parts where like, oh, Pito's fucking killer N is so
Mhm.
ominous and whatever, everyone's fucking
Yeah.
shitting themselves. So you're like, this
Mhm.
fucking cat, Chimera Ant, is
Mhm.
nuts.
Yeah.
And then they don't do any
And
they
then
don't really do anything and then they die.
yeah.
And you're just like,
Yeah.
the fuck, bro? The fuck?
It's a whole thing of, like, how the situation plays out, where I feel like, depending on how you look at it with the Chimera Ant arc, it is an unsatisfying ending, like, depending on how you look at it. Like, because obviously the end of Meruem as well is kind of, I know some people really dislike that ending. However, I kind of, like, I see it 2 sides of it. I think that
Meruem's end to me, me personally, is the same as the as
God.
Yoshikage Kira's ending is it's the same sort of like fuck my
Really?
life,
Oh,
man.
no, I think, like, I mean, it does suck the way that it does, like, the way it is, because obviously Netero is behind it. So,
Mm.
like, realistically, the fight with Netero was actually cool, quite cool. I did
That
really
was cool,
enjoy that.
right?
Like, it,
And
yeah.
I'm glad we did get some sort of action
Mhm.
with Meruem, right? But it's just the fact that it's like you want all of this work to come down
Yeah.
to the actual like fighting of characters, right? I get it. I get it. It is what it is, but like
Mhm.
what you want or what I wanted to see was like one of the characters get in there and have
Mhm.
one last battle with him, you know, and then
Yeah.
they get the final and it's like, yes, they did it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, no, because no, it didn't play out that way, and it was just not as
I think
satisfying
it
to me.
was quite cool because obviously you have the royal guards who are very much like the king has his job to do. He has to fucking take over the world and become like make the
Yeah.
Camarans the strongest thing, and it's understandable with that. And but I do quite like how, like, Meruem did become human in the end, and it became this, like, multi-layered character where,
Yeah.
like, he ended up have become making a friendship with Kamugi, who was this, like, and he even says it in the way that, like, "Oh, like, I could easily destroy you in 2 seconds," but she's like, "Well, my life isn't worth living anyway, you can take it if you want." And I think that bond between them is actually really cool, and she makes him more human, obviously, which, like, Poof absolutely despises. He's like, "I
Oh
fucking wanna
god,
just
yeah.
kill this
Poof.
person."
Ah, fucking
Like,
hell. It's obsession with trying to get rid of Kamugi. Jesus.
yeah, it's all that kind of stuff, and I think, like, I can see what you mean. This is what I mean by the ending gets 2 reactions. I can completely see where you're coming from with, like, "Oh, it doesn't feel like it's an appropriate," like, there's no, like, big win for anyone, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? There's no, like, but
It's a net
it's
loss
kind
for
of, like,
both
written.
sides, and that's what it's just kind of like.
Yeah. It feels a little bit like, I can understand it. I can understand it,
It's
yeah.
also because this is a battle series, you know, and it's not to say that you can't do that. You know, they explain it fine, but it's just kind of I'm not.
Realistically as well, I don't know if this is a thing or not. It probably is down to maybe Tagashi's health as well at some point. I
Maybe.
kinda wanna put it down to that a little bit because, like, I remember the way that arc ends as well in the manga. What happens is, like, in the anime, you kind of just get these pans of, like, the scenery that, the basement they're in,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
underground bunker where, like, Kamugi and Meruem are just staying at. Like, you
Hmm.
get, like, little pans of it here and there. It's like, oh, and then he's talking like, Kamugi, are you still there and stuff like that, and she's like, yeah, and then he's talking about something, and then it's like, Kamugi, are you still there? And, like, so in the manga, I believe that it's just blank shots and it's just dialogue saying Kamugi, you
Okay.
there? And then, like, it's back and forth. and then you get that what I think is actually a really good art piece by Tagashi is the like Meruem basically on the floor, like basically dead, and then she's just by his side, and I think it's very emotional with that, and I think it does feel like it gets to you quite a bit. In my opinion, I thought it was a when you compare it to the Yoshikage Kira ending, I feel like if I think that is an ending which I'm like, oh, what the fuck is this? I think I can understand where you're coming from. It is an it could be seen as an anticlimax, but I can also see the niceties in it. I think it is still quite a powerful ending in some retrospects.
I
Um,
understand both sides,
yeah, yeah.
but yeah, to me, it's
If you're
still
looking
just
for a
like,
battle ending, yes, yeah, you're not gonna be satisfied with it. And I have talked to people that did think because I thought the Chimera Ant arc as a whole was actually really powerful. Like the adventure they go through, the like trying to rescue Kai, all Gon's like the transformation and all
oh
that
yeah,
kind of stuff,
like
all the fight scenes that comes
Gon
through.
goes through a
Yeah,
lot of shit in that
yeah,
whole
yeah.
arc.
And the thing, and that you even get the arrival of what's his face, Killua's grandpa as well. Like
Yeah,
because
yeah, yeah.
Netero and grandpa team up, and you get that moment where they're just coming down on a fucking dragon made of light, and then it's like
Dragon
all
made
that
of
goes
Nen,
down.
actually.
Yeah, yeah, it looks cool. It's Nen Dragon, yeah, sure, but yeah, I remember, I remember it like a lightning dragon,
Or a
basically,
dragon.
or a dragon. But it's like two old. It's my favorite thing. Two old dudes just arriving on a fucking dragon and just
Well, it's
crashing into
like,
a palace.
as far as we know, they're like the two strongest old dudes in the world because
Yeah,
Netero
yeah.
and Zeno, like, but Zeno's like, he fucking annoys. In the anime, it's funny because he's
Yeah.
like, he's so annoying, and fucking this guy, you gotta watch out for him.
And then it's like Killua's dad as well. And remember
Yeah.
that cheetah guy? And he tries to like lock him into this
Cheat.
fucking
Oh,
race.
fucking. I hated Cheeto. This stupid
It
stupid
was
fucking idiot.
he's he's that exact character I know you hate. He's a Gotenks type,
Yeah.
and I know from because even like when you listen, I was like, Nathan's gonna hate this character. Actually,
Oh, I fucking hate
like
him.
even
As-
before we started talking about, it, I was
He's
like,
a
yeah, Nathan's gonna hate.
unwarranted cocky little shit. He could have been super powerful, but he made the most useless abilities and was just constantly like, I'm the best. And you're like, no, you're an idiot. Fuck you.
What was the smoke guy's name again? Cool, I can't remember. It's I
Moral.
think it's Moro. It's the fact that Moro just even knows like he can't catch up to him, and he's like, "Well, if I can't catch you, now I'm just gonna lie here and sleep."
Bro.
And but he can't cheater can't do anything because he's like, "Come on, catch me!" And the mirror like, nah.
That whole arc, Moral is so sick.
He's
With
like,
his
yeah,
with his spoke powers, like he is so fucking sick in that.
yeah.
Like everything he does, he's like hard carrying the team on his back, man.
It's like he's great, and I think that's the one thing because you even know like he can't defeat the Royal Guard, and
Yeah.
that's the one thing about the Royal Guard and Merrim as well is that like they're written to be so powerful that like if Netero can't defeat Merrim without freaking exploding himself with his poison gas thing,
Yeah.
like at that point you're in the series like how the fuck is Gon supposed to defeat him? Like how is this character supposed to, if they can't even be
Gon transforms and then just beats the shit out of
but
everyone.
he beats the shit out of Peter, but then he like immediately goes into fucking like dehydrated vegetable god.
Yeah, well, that's because he basically was so desperate to beat Pito. He was like, I don't care, take everything I got. And now he's like, he can't use Nen or some shit because he basically used it all. He just gave it all up to beat this one thing, and you're like, "There's stronger
Yeah,
shit out there."
he made that.
Come on, man.
Yeah, yeah. But he was just so angry in that moment, and arguably that's one thing because you even feel Gon's pain in that moment. Like you even kind of realize that Kite's dead. Like everyone kind of like
But I
realizes
mean,
that
I feel
Kite's,
like
there's no coming back
everyone
from it.
except from Gon.
Gon had it in his mind that he was like, yeah, you could bring Kite back, right? And then the moment that Peter's like,
I
yeah,
can't do
he's
that.
not
He
coming
did.
back. Yeah, yeah, and then you see Gon's rage in that moment, and you're like, oh fuck, like he pissed. But like it's that point where like Gon is such a happy-go-lucky character up until that moment that he does really well for a lot of it, and then seeing him lose his shit, even the moment where he's watching Pito like heal Kabugi, like you just see him sitting in that corner, like that stance where he's just fucking staring, and it's like, oh, okay, this is like it's quite cool
See,
moments to see.
it
But
it's
yeah,
interesting because like from the first few times I tried to watch the series, and I always stopped roughly at the same point. I always thought Killua was gonna be some sort of antagonist because, like,
yeah,
you know, he's like, "Oh, I'm from the Zoldyck family. I'm an assassin. I'm from an assassin family, right?" And like, you see him do stuff, and he sort of is so nonchalant about doing whatever the fuck he feels like that, like, in my mind, I thought this kid was gonna be a problem at some point,
yeah.
but really, Killua was like the best kid. He's the best boy.
Yeah, he's yeah, and like he's such a good friend to Gon. I like just see like his and Gon's friendship is like so wholesome as well. It's like
Yeah.
no matter Gon what Gon wants to do, Killer is like, well, I'm going to support you regardless and stuff like that.
It's
And
like the purest of
and
friendships.
it's like and obviously what is great about Killua as well is that he's constantly told by his brother that he's never going to be good enough to protect Gon and stuff like that. It is like,
Mm.
why are you even bothering? Just go home. Just be like the rest of our family. Just go home. But then you find out it's like, what is it? There's
Oh,
like a
yeah, the
pin in
needle.
his head that he like yeah, the
Oh,
needle
man,
where he
see,
like freaking goes into his skull to like bring out and stuff
that's
like that. And
another
it's
thing. I'm
like
like, what is Illumi's fucking deal?
oh deal. Yeah.
Like, what
uh
he sort of is like a worse Hisoka because he's like doing stuff, but like you don't even really understand why. At least Hisoka's like, I'm out here trying to fight strong people just for the fun of it, right? For the hell of it, and I'm gonna cause a bunch of chaos because why not? But Illumi is like, he's from this assassin family, right? And yeah, okay, he kills people, but like, I don't know what his motivations are. He's just out to fuck with Killua. Is that
he
like,
feels very sociopathic, brother complexy kind of
yeah?
like
And
villain.
then like, he
Yeah.
gets a motivation later on because of Aruka or Nanoka, right? He's like, I want to kill them or to control them or
Mhm.
whatever.
Yeah.
But the whole time I'm still just kind of like, okay, but what are you gonna do after that? Because I don't know what you were doing before that for whatever reason, Illumi.
Yeah.
Like, I don't get what you're doing.
And Ilubi is just like the guy that feels like he has, like you said, he doesn't really have any motivation just to fuck with people. He just he just wants to fuck with people by the looks of it, like half the time. Like he even enters the hunter exam as this fucking weird ass like looking creature thing.
Yeah. But that's the
And
thing,
then
like, he fucks with
yeah.
people, but he always makes it come back to, for some reason, like something to do with the Zoldyck family.
Yeah.
But then you're like, the Zoldyck family, and then it always something Killua. But I'm like, do you want to explain any of that? Do you want to tell us what you think? And he's like, just, yeah, I just
Yeah. Yeah.
needle, don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like it's controlling his little brother in ways that are just because like the whole Zoldyck family is just fucked up deep down.
Oh
Like
yeah,
everything about
hell
them
yeah,
is like even like the dad, what was it? I can't remember his name now,
Silver.
but Silver, that was it, yeah. Who is like appears to be like, oh, killer, if you want to go on adventures, it's absolutely fine. Like go for it. But then is like a complete gaslighting piece of shit.
Yeah.
Who is like deep down is just like, I don't care, he's gonna come back eventually. Like everything about the Zoldyck family is fucked up. Everything about and then you got like what was it, Killua's younger sibling as well.
Oh
Who
yeah, Aluka.
Aluka, yeah, yeah. And like everything about Aluka is like also fucking disturbing and creepy as fuck. But
Well, that's where. So now that I'm caught up with the anime, I started doing the natural. I started watching videos on YouTube and stuff, and
yeah, yeah.
it's like supposedly Aluka is. I think Aluka they people reckon is a Zoldyck, but Nanaka is a dark continent, which I know is like future stuff. Is a dark continent creature that invaded, tried to become part. Um, so yeah, I know some stuff that I shouldn't know yet because
Yeah,
it's not been in the anime, but it's been in the
yeah.
manga. So I know a few
Interesting, yeah.
things that
Okay.
I shouldn't know. Spoilers. I spoiled myself because I just wanted to know. I just wanted to like learn about things, and then I ended up getting
I
spoiled.
mean, it depends. Have you seen anything about the Hisoka fight in the manga yet?
No, but I do know he does fight Crawler, which
Yeah, that
I'm
okay, yeah.
disappointed that I know because I'm like, fuck.
You know, I said earlier about the if it was
I thought that's
animated,
what
it
you
would be
wanted
a
to,
fucking
but I
yeah.
didn't want to.
I didn't want to go say it, and if you know it happens, I don't mind saying. But geez, that fight is insane. I kind of just want to see it animated. I
So
want to
I
see.
know Crawler becomes a floor master at Heaven's Arena, and that Hisoka fights him, and Hisoka also becomes a floor master. I, I know stuff. I just know stuff that I probably
Yeah,
shouldn't.
yeah. And it's at that point now. The thing is with it, I want to know more about it, but the Hunter x Hunter stuff is it's so confusing. Everything about it, like this is why I prefer the anime over the manga. Like I think the anime is class. I love everything about it.
The
Like
anime's
I think it's
good.
great.
I've very much enjoyed it. The only yeah, I guess is I've got nothing wrong with the anime. It's just that Hunter x Hunter itself just does things that I'm like, I don't understand. Like, like we got Kurapika and Leorio, and like
Hmm.
Leorio, once they get their hunter's license, doesn't appear to do anything important again until York New City. And then nothing again until the next chairman, the chairman like arc,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And Kurapika doesn't do anything till York New City, and then you never see him again in the anime
Yes, you don't see
because
if yeah in the anime.
he's
Yeah, then
not in the Chimera and arc. He doesn't do anything on Green Island. He's
yeah.
just not in it again. And I'm like, aren't these like important characters? Why did you introduce them to me in the Hunter exam and then just
It's such a weird like anomaly of a series. I think it does stuff that like a usual conventional shonen just wouldn't do.
yeah,
Like there's a lot of stuff there which is like, for example, like the latest arc where Gon and Killua aren't even in it. It all focuses around Kurapika, and you're like, that's a bold move, like to just not use your main characters at all, and and it's not like it's like, oh, it's a short arc
yeah.
either. Like Tagashi's been writing this for like what feels like a decade at this point, like well over, and like at some point it's like, what the fuck, like it's and you're probably gonna hate it as well because it introduces a whole different type of Nen stuff. So it's like there's more
Great.
stuff, but yeah, yeah.
Great.
And and the thing is, with that comes a lot of explanation, which is why if I'm gonna carry on with Hunter x Hunter, I want it to be via anime.
I can't.
Uh,
I cannot wait for more words. I'm not going to ever understand that
it's a
I'll do a
slog. It is.
thing and
Yeah,
then lead to another thing. But I mean, like with Nen, the most important thing is, at least to me, I feel like the most important thing is just to remember the different types
hmm,
of
yeah,
classification, and then everything
yeah.
else is just like, I just let it happen.
Sometimes it's like powers. They look cool. Like, hey, he's got electric. It's cool. He's got
Well,
like
yeah,
the
but
chains thing. The Kurapika's chain stuff is quite cool. I like
what
his powers.
that's the
I think it's
other
cool.
thing is like he does that and he shows it off and then he
Yeah.
disappears and you just don't ever
Yeah.
see it again.
My favorite thing is like Kurapika's master that he just meets him in the woods at one point, teaches him Nen randomly, just bumps into a guy in the woods, teaches him Nen, and then just like this master, you don't actually know how strong he is really, like you don't get a gauge of him at all. He's just there, this guy.
That I mean, that's the funniest thing is that like they all just bump into someone in a place that you are they either are conveniently there or are sent there. We don't know.
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
then you're supposed to have just learnt Nen. But then with Leorio, you're like, where the fuck did he learn Nen? He was in the library fucking studying for his medical license, and he just randomly knows Nen from someone. I don't know. But then you also have people who have Nen that never have learnt from anyone. Like all the random people that somehow got into Greed Island, Kamugi, for one, who's never had a master, but Kamugi had some Nen, because Kamugi had like an ability.
What was Kamugi's ability?
So you know all those times they were playing that game,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
at one point Kamugi says something like, "Oh, I can just whatever, I just see it or something,"
Mhm.
and so it's speculated that
Right,
that's
okay,
actually
yeah.
that Kamugi actually somehow developed Nen
Had it.
without actually ever learning
Okay,
officially from
yeah.
a person. They just have aura
Right,
and a
okay, yeah.
Hatsu.
Okay, yeah. I don't think I picked up on that. Again, it's I think last time I watched Hunter x Hunter was in 2021.
Oh,
So this is why I kind of like, what's that character's name again? What's this
again,
character's name? Is like, yeah,
if I
it's like a
wasn't
lot of
watching
it.
these videos, I probably wouldn't have
Yeah,
picked
it's
up
not
on
really
that.
explained. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, yeah. And then what was it as well?
That
There
was the
was
other thing that was a surprise is in the chairman thing where because before that in York New City, like Leorio fucking barely had Ren. He just
yeah,
barely developed Ren. And then all of a sudden now it's like, oh, actually, he's got an ability. It's like
yeah.
two or three
It is
like
randomly thrown in the
but yeah, like fucking 2 arcs later, he's got a fucking ability, he's figured it
yeah.
out. And I was like, what? Why is all this shit happening? These are main characters. Why is this shit happening off screen?
Again, I kind of I obviously I wasn't there at the time. I don't know when this would have been in the manga or whatever, but part of me does feel like it's health related for Takashi stuff. Like certain story points and stuff like bits like that. Again, I can't speak for it because I don't know how true it is. But yeah, it is random. It is
It's not
fucking
the
random that
first
he just
time
has
we've
this thing.
experienced it, right? It's like Vegeta coming back and being Super Saiyan. We never even saw how he did that. We never see how Vegeta does half of the things he does. He just comes back and has it. So it's not the first time,
With the
but
way that Gon and Killua have progressed as characters throughout the whole series, you have to just kind of expect Leorio has done as well. But obviously it's not showing you how he just picked up this fucking weird
yeah,
like space time ability where he could just fucking
it's
like
cool.
punch people.
I think it's a wicked
I think,
ability.
but when you compare him to everything that happened down in the Chimera Ant arc, you know he
Oh
would get
yeah,
absolutely murdered in it.
he would.
So it's like in the whole wider scheme of things, it is kind of like, well, okay, he's still quite weak in comparison to almost every other character in the series.
Yeah,
Bless him, though. But I think that's also quite that's the charm of Leorio as a character in the Chairman arc because he's just there is I don't care what you guys what your policies are. I just want to save God, and that's my policy. And everyone's like, I fucking like this guy. This guy's cool. He wants to save God. And everyone's like, yeah, Leorio, I'll go vote for him. And it's like, he has no policies, just that's his only thing. And then Gon turns up, it's like, hey, Leorio. And then it's like, okay, cool, I'm going back out now.
which leads to another just anticlimax upon anticlimax because his Parison is like been fucking with everybody this whole time, and he's like,
Yeah,
"Cool,
yeah.
thanks for I won. I quit, by the way. I'm out.
Yeah.
Later."
Yeah, like Cheadle, yeah, you can run the fucking thing
Yeah,
out. And then Cheadle's like, great.
and then but then on top of that, God finally meets Jing, and it's a fucking anticlimax. it's
Oh
so
man.
it's so frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
You're like, what is gonna happen? And then it's like nothing. And then the way
I
the
guess like
anime
because it's
like ends as well, or ends at the
yeah.
moment, where it's like, "Oh, Jing, I'm back," and it's like, "Sorry, I tried to beans the fucking bean man."
Yeah.
Is just like, "Oh, sorry, I tried to stop him. He's at the world tree."
Yeah, meets a bit of wild tree, and it's basically like if Luffy met Shanks really early on, and then Shanks was like, "Yeah, do better."
Yeah, like
Like,
you're not ready yet. See you later.
yeah, yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jing is such, like, an asshole of a dad as
Oh yeah.
well. It's just an
I
absolute
mean,
and everyone even
Jing
says that. Everyone, like, even says it, like, in the anime. They're like, "Oh, you're just a
Jing in
dick."
general is an asshole because like half the people
Yeah.
hate him because he just does whatever the
Yeah.
fuck he wants.
Yeah. It's but, like, I don't know, whole Hunter x Hunter as a series, I quite enjoy the vibes of it. I think, again, the opening for me is, like,
Oh, Departure is
this Departure's an
great,
iconic,
but I
like
just find
yeah.
it hilarious how animes will swap openings, different song, and this is like, nope, we got the one song. This one
We're
song is
gonna
so
stick
banging,
with it, like,
which
we're not gonna change.
fair enough, but it's just this one song is so banging, we are never ever doing anything else.
Okay, I'll tell you what, we'll change the words slightly. We'll do the second chorus, right? We'll the second verse. Yeah, we'll do the second verse, and then we'll switch up the words. And there you go. That's your new opening. Different visuals. There you go. Oh man. But it is such a bad, and like, even like, I don't know how many of the endings you watched either, because there's a bunch of them on the Culture Boys playlist as
Yes,
well.
there is,
Yeah,
and I think that's what's even more hilarious. We'll swap out the endings, but that opening song,
yeah,
no, 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 no. We don't pay for more
yeah.
music.
Oh, what was is there? There's a song. I think my favorite ending is "Fighting for Your Dream." Fighting for your dream. Like, it's like a heavy metal. Like,
Yeah,
when
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
episode
yeah.
ends, it's in York New City, and it's when the episode, because they overlap the ending briefly with like the narration. And it's like,
Mm.
Gon and Killua have found out this, but what will they do next? And you just got this guitar riff going, "Da, da, 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 da,
Yeah,
da,
yeah, yeah. No,
da,
that
da,
one's
da, da,
sick.
da."
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's like, yeah, that was like, that's my favorite one. That was I was addicted to that for a while as well. Like, that was a good ending. There's a couple others as well which I thought were right, but I think Fighting for Your Dream is my fave. Hunting for Your Dream. Is hunting for your,
That
not fighting for your dream. Yeah.
one, no, that one was sick. I'm struggling to remember any of the other ones, but
Yeah.
I
Oh, the
also
first one was Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is one. The first thing where it's
I
it just
probably
goes like
do,
really heavy metal. Yeah.
but like
Oh man.
because of the way streaming services are, if I didn't
Yeah.
hear
They'll
it in
just
that like 10-second interval before the next episode just auto plays,
yeah.
I don't know what it is. Uh,
Yeah. No, that's it. That's understandable. Nah, I like that.
Plus, I binge watched the
Yeah.
shit out of this like for a week.
Yeah, like you, that's another thing. You fucking smashed out in a week, which is insane. That's like, that's insanely well done. Like, I think I took, like, last time I watched it, I think I took a fair couple of months to watch it at least.
I mean, I
Like,
was leaving. I literally would any spare
yeah,
moment that I wasn't gonna watch something else, Hunter x Hunter
yeah,
was
yeah,
on, and I would watch it all the way from like finishing work,
yeah.
depending on the work. Sometimes I'd watch it during doing some work, all the way up until literally I'm about to go to bed. So I would finish the episode, and then turn off the TV, and then go to bed. So
Yeah,
I
yeah. That's
sometimes I'd be
you'd
watching
be waking
Hunter
up.
x Hunter like all day long. I'd be watching like fucking like 8 hours of Hunter x Hunter in a day or whatever.
Yeah. With 148 episodes as well, it's like it kind of creeps up on you a little bit, like how easy it is to get through as well.
Mm.
When you're addicted to a series like that, like
Well,
23-minute episodes roughly, it's
also
like,
like we
yeah,
said, where
this
some arcs basically are nothing in comparison to other
yeah.
ones, you're like, oh, they moved on to a new story beat, and then you're like,
Yeah.
there's others that you're like, still on this, huh? Crazy.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
Greed Island sort of like dragged a little
It was
bit
in the middle. Yeah,
because
Greed Island was like a middle kind of thing.
mainly
But
because it was like all the other ones were like so much shorter by that point, and I was just like, Still playing this game, huh? Okay, still okay, still okay. He's still got the Bomberman, and now okay, we play dodgeball.
I don't think Green Islanders arc is as good as York New City.
No,
Like, there's a lot of stuff that went on with like the Phantom Troop and like all the spiders and stuff like that, and like all the like you got
well,
these
also
established
because it was like
villains, which were like,
it's like York New City had loads of stuff going on, and like loads of the characters came
mm,
together. Whereas Greed Island was like Gon and Killua, and then a little bit of Hisoka, a tiny bit. But like it was all these like new characters that you are not attached to. You've got no reason to be at that moment. Even Bisky even starts off annoying because like the first time you see Bisky's like, "Oh, these two kids, these two boys, their friendship's so pure. I'm gonna
mm,
fuck this friendship up."
yeah. It's yeah, Bisky's kind of just fine. Fine as a character, like as a long running character. she's cool. Like she has some cool powers as well.
Yeah,
Like
she's
it's
fine
fun.
afterwards, but like it's
Yeah,
like the fact that you're supposed to try and get attached to this character and they start
yeah,
off in the worst way. We're now like
yeah,
everyone's like invested in Gon and Killua's friendship. You know, they're like, oh,
yeah,
the pure friendship, these guys, they're gonna take on the whole world together. And she's
yeah,
literally says that and then goes, I want to destroy this friendship. And you're like, fuck you, man.
yeah.
Fuck you.
Oh man, yeah. Like I think the whole thing agreed on the characters they introduced. Like kind of felt like the well, I can't remember what the guy's name was. Like the I caught the bomber guy. I can't remember like who
Oh,
it was, but
Genthru.
like
Or at least that's what the
Genthru.
main guy
Yeah,
is,
he's
Genthru.
just kind of yeah Genthru. Yeah, that's the main. I didn't really care for him I think out of all the series villains, I think he's probably the weakest out of all of them.
Yeah,
Not
but that's
in
because
probably
Genthru is literally just a villain for the sake of being a villain. He's just a dick. That's
yeah.
it. It
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he doesn't feel like he's trying to commit mass murder or anything like that. He does kill people like in the game
well,
and stuff like that,
that's
but
the
like
thing. He commits mass murder because he wants to. That's it. Just because he
yeah.
can. And it's like when you've got
Yeah.
like villains like Hisoka, which granted isn't much in much more depth than that. He also just does things because he wants to. But you know, you've got I don't know, man. Genzo just he's a fucking asshole. He's just an asshole.
Yeah, is like I think
He's
and I think that's
irredeemable.
as characters as a whole that aren't introduced in Greed Island feel a lot more powerful as well. Like remember like in the second half, I guess, of Chimera Ant arc. What I mean, the introduction of Kite, I think Kite is such a cool character as
Kite
well.
was
Obviously, it's a shame he
amazing.
yeah, he was so cool, and like just seeing him like fight, like so he'd be like, "Oh, Gon and Killer can fight these this couple ants or whatever, and I'll just stay back or whatever,
I
and I'll
love
take on my own bit."
I love that whole time they all fooled each other into thinking that Jing had this master plan, and then you get that flashback where he's like, "If Gon has to bring his friends, he ain't seeing me. You send him over to
Yeah,
Kite.
yeah,
If
you
he
send him
uses
over
a
to
card to
Kai.
bring himself, he come to me."
Yeah,
And then you
yeah,
like you see that, but then they're all like, "Gon, Kill or Kite." They're all like, you know, if Jing sent us here and we met Bisky, and everyone we've met has conveniently been a master to us when we needed a master,
yeah,
this has to be part of the plan. And they're all just kind of like,
yeah,
yeah, yeah, that's
yeah,
right. And it's like, no, no, it's
yeah.
not. He's a dick. Jing's a dick.
Yeah, he's just yeah. He is just yeah, fucking asshole. Oh man. But like then you had I mean again like going back like Kite is such a cool character. Then you had Palm as well,
Oh
who
yeah,
is like
Palm.
just a weird like
Oh my god.
weird, but like so many different layers to Palm where you're like, who the fuck is this person to be like, fucking hell, she's weird. Then it's like, oh, okay. Like, I guess I kind of like Palm again. Like,
Yeah.
it's such a weird and then, you had,
Knuckle, my boy Knuckle.
Knuckle. Knuckle was such a cool character as well. Like, everything about him is just like I don't care if anyone Knuckle isn't my typical, like, the character that I like either, but, like, I quite like Knuckles. He was, like, one of my favorites in that arc.
As soon as I saw Knuckle, I was like, "Oh, here we go, a fucking another Yankee." Like, oh my fucking
Yeah.
whatever. And then he's like, "No, this guy's got
He's
heart.
cool. Yeah. He
He's
is good, yeah.
amazing. He's one of the best. Knuckle is fucking sick."
Shoot, I didn't really care for as much.
Yeah, I didn't care for Shu either. But he doesn't do anything until the palace infiltration.
Yeah, and I do feel gutted for him though. It's where he goes up against Yuppie, and Yuppie absolutely defeats him, and is just like, just let me die.
Treats him like trash,
Oh,
like
and it just
walks
doesn't even
away.
kill him.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is like I mean, Knuckle and Shoot's moment in like, where Knuckle finds him
yeah.
and Shoot's just crawling on the floor and like just in tears, like fucking like just didn't even look past it.
He
It is
didn't even look at me.
and it's like in Hunter x Hunter where so many characters just fucking die. Like the fact that he just leaves him is just so like it's the most level of disrespect and
Oh,
it even feel and it's like that
it
is
was bad.
savage. It is brutal. And like I think that's where I felt bad for Shoot a little bit. God, I feel like we haven't even touched on half the stuff in this
Oh,
series.
there's so much,
Uh,
so
but,
much.
we're running up close to the hour. Is there anything you want to say about Hunter x Hunter before we wrap this up? I guess.
I will just make a small point. I think it's weird that the Zodiacs, the 12 people Nesoro
Yeah.
chose as like strongest at this council. I find it weird that they were all just like, cool, he assigned us a Zodiac. I'm just gonna start being more like the Zodiac.
Yeah, that's the like chicken before the egg thing, innit? It's like,
Yeah.
wait, did he choose you because you look like this thing, or did you look like this thing because you were chosen?
Well, the way it was explained in the anime was like the latter. They were like chosen, and then they changed their appearance to look more like the thing. But I'm just
Yeah,
kind of
that
like, why
is
would you
wild,
do
man.
that? That's just weird. Like one of like what was it? What's his face? The detective guy or the
Yeah.
crime guy is literally just dresses up to look like a cow.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, I'm supposed to believe you're some crazy like detective guy. You know, you solve all these
Mhm.
unsolvable crimes or whatever mysteries. Man's dressed like a cow. I don't take you seriously.
Yeah. The only two people that don't look are Pariston and Ging.
Yeah,
And yeah, because they're the boar and the rat, aren't they?
yeah,
So it's like they're the only two, I guess, because like I mean, Pariston's just a rat in general because of like his attitude of
yeah.
it.
And I
Like
would say
I'll give you,
he wears a suit, so you know he's
yeah, yeah, like pure like politician-y kind of like.
yeah.
I do
He's
because he was like
with the
vice
suit and the
chairman
way
as well,
he
weren't
is.
he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the vice chairman because Netero was like, I want someone that I despise. I don't want to work with someone I
Yeah.
like. I want to hate the
Yeah.
person.
I love that though. I love that like just idea of like just like yeah, just have someone there that's trying to like undermine you the whole fucking
Yeah.
time. It's just like that what a what a way of thinking is just insane. But so the Zodiacs are so weird as well because obviously we haven't really seen them fight that much either. So
Mm.
it's the third we've kind of seen of
Well,
the
we haven't
Zodiacs
seen
and
them fight really at all. We've seen them
no, yeah.
argue with each
Yeah,
other
I mean,
a whole bunch.
even in the manga, we kind of just get like a brief glimpse at some of them fighting. Obviously, some of them are
Oh, okay.
more fighters than others as well because of like the profession of what kind of hunter they are. Like
Mm.
Cheadle, for example, I don't think is much of a fighter. I don't
No,
think.
I think
I
Cheeto
think
was a
yeah,
doctor, isn't it?
yeah, I think so. So it's like, I mean, that's what the series is like anyway. Each person has a different kind of like I don't know, speciality of what they do, I guess. So it's like
Yeah.
it's cool though. But no, fair. I guess we'll wrap it up there then. There's
Yeah.
so much more we could talk about with it and like but I mean, I still think it's still a great series to me. I think it's still top 5 for me, like alongside like
Oh, it
Hitman Reborn and like all those kind of ones.
still
Yeah.
worth watching. I highly recommend it.
Mhm.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's just, you know, fresh
Certain
fresh
grievances.
fan. I'm just like,
Yeah.
there's just stuff, man. There's stuff.
Every series has its like little criticisms. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's always going to be those things there. But no, definitely. Like I don't know. Let us know your thoughts on Hunter x Hunter. What you think of the anime or the manga? Please just put a comment down below. We always appreciate it. And I guess we'll wrap this up here. Thank you for listening, guys. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button for future Culture Boys videos. I guess I don't know. Is that it's every Sunday. You can do. We're not going to force you to do it. We don't have a different schedule at all, so it's always Sunday. Check the links in our description. We've got our podcast platforms there, and we'll see you guys next time for another Culture Boys episode. Bye bye.
Bye.